Harish, this chart is not the chart of a simple man living a simple emotional life. This is the chart of someone who looks active, sharp, practical, and self-driven on the outside. But inside, there is a private ocean. A hidden world. A place where sleep, memory, emotion, fear, desire, guilt, spiritual hunger, and unfinished karmas keep speaking even when you are silent. And the first thing I will say very clearly is this. Your life is not being controlled only by planets sitting in houses. Your life is being controlled by house lords carrying their agendas into other houses. That is the diagnostic engine here. And once we read the lordships, the chart becomes brutally clear. You are Aries rising, Kritika rising. So the outer personality is sharp, direct, cutting. You are not built to tolerate nonsense for too long. You observe, you detect weakness, you see where people are inefficient, and you instinctively want to cut through confusion. But Kritika is not just sharpness, it is fire with a blade. It purifies, but it can also burn. It exposes truth, but it can also wound people when it speaks too quickly. Now look at your ascendant lord. Mars, the lord of your first house, is not sitting comfortably in the first. It is sitting in the third house. This tells me your identity is not built through comfort. Your identity is built through effort, through communication, through courage, through skills, through movement, through the hands, through siblings, short travels, technical learning, writing, speech, initiative, arguments, and self-made struggle. You are not someone who can wait for destiny to come and bless you. You have to activate your chart by doing, by learning, by speaking, by training, by repeating, by failing and starting again. Mars in the third makes you courageous, but also verbally sharp. You can use words like weapons. You can become impatient when others do not understand fast enough. And because Mars is in Gemini, the battlefield becomes the mind. The argument, the idea, the document, the message, the call, the negotiation, the strategy. You may think you are just explaining something, but someone else may feel attacked. You may think you are being logical, but the other person may feel cut. This is one of the first areas needing attention. Your communication style. Your words can build your destiny, but they can also create unnecessary enemies. And because Mars is also your eighth lord, the eighth house of crisis, secrets, transformation, fear, sudden breaks, occult depth, hidden psychology, and research is also going into the third. That means you are not interested in surface-level communication. You probe, you investigate, you ask why. You sense the hidden layer. You may be drawn towards psychology, astrology, technical analysis, crisis management, research, repair, hidden systems, confidential information, or subjects that most people avoid. But the consequence is clear. When triggered, you do not just respond, you penetrate. You go straight for the weak point. That can make you powerful in research and problem solving, but dangerous in personal relationships. Now comes the first major engine of the chart, the third and 12th house exchange. Mercury, lord of your third and sixth, is in the 12th. Jupiter, lord of your ninth and 12th, is in the third. This is not a small combination. This is one of the signatures defining your entire psychology. The third house is effort, communication, courage, writing skills, self-effort, siblings, media, hands, and practical initiative. The 12th house is sleep, isolation, foreign lands, loss, expenses, retreat, hospitals, ashrams, hidden work, private suffering, subconscious patterns, and moksha. So what happens? Your courage goes into the 12th. Your communication goes into the 12th. Your intellect goes into the 12th. Your conflict handling goes into the 12th. And your 12th house spirituality, foreignness, isolation, and hidden wisdom come back into the third. This creates a person who may speak strongly in the world, but privately overthinks everything. You may appear mentally active, but a lot of your real processing happens alone. You may need silence after too much interaction. You may get drained by conversations, yet you cannot stop thinking. You may be drawn to foreign connections, remote work, spiritual study, private writing, hidden research, back-end systems, institutional environments, hospitals, retreats, or work done away from the public eye. This exchange is powerful, but it is also exhausting, because the mind never fully switches off. Mercury in the 12th can create hidden anxiety. It can disturb sleep. It can make you mentally active at night. It can make you replay conversations. It can create expenses through communication, travel, gadgets, learning, documents, or problem solving. As sixth lord in the 12th, it can also show hidden enemies, health expenses, nervous stress, or workplace problems that happen behind the scenes. But here is the higher version. This placement can make you an excellent researcher, writer, spiritual communicator, healer, counselor, analyst, foreign service professional, back-end strategist, technical problem solver, or someone who understands unseen systems. Your mind is not weak. It is just not ordinary. It does not operate in a straight line. It gathers impressions from invisible layers. But if you do not discipline it, it becomes scattered. If you do discipline it, it becomes insight. Now look at Jupiter in the 3rd. Jupiter owns your 9th house of Dharma, fortune, teachers, higher learning, father, ethics, and blessings. It also owns the 12th. Sitting in the 3rd, it tells me your luck does not come by sitting and praying alone. Your luck comes when you write, teach, communicate, travel, learn skills, share knowledge, and act with courage. Your Dharma is not passive belief. Your Dharma is communication. You are meant to translate wisdom into usable language. But because Jupiter is in Gemini, there is a risk. Too many topics, too many ideas, too many directions, too much intellectual movement. You may know many things, but struggle to consolidate one clear authority. This is one of the biggest consequences of the 3rd-12th exchange. Scattered knowledge can become leakage. Disciplined knowledge becomes destiny. Now let us go to the 12th house itself, because this chart is soaked in 12th house energy. Moon, Mercury, Venus, and Ketu are all in the 12th house. That means your emotional life, your speech and values, your relationships, your intellect, your health conflicts, your marriage patterns, and your inner peace are all pulled into the invisible zone. This is why you cannot be read like a purely aggressive Aries native. You are not just fire. You are not just fire. You are fire standing at the edge of an ocean. The 4th Lord Moon is in the 12th. The 4th house is mother, home, emotional security, property, inner peace, education, vehicles, and the private heart. When the 4th Lord goes into the 12th, emotional settlement becomes complicated. Home can become distant, foreign, isolated, or psychologically unavailable. There may be a feeling that peace is always somewhere else. You may need solitude to feel emotionally safe. You may not always be able to explain your emotions clearly. You may withdraw when overwhelmed. Moon in the 12th makes the mind absorb invisible emotional currents. Food, sleep, water, environment, people, rooms, all of these affect you more than you admit. If your sleep is disturbed, your judgment changes. If your emotional environment is toxic, your whole system becomes cloudy. And with Ketu also in the 12th, emotional detachment becomes stronger. You may sometimes feel disconnected from your own needs. You may disappear emotionally and then wonder why people do not understand you. But the truth is, you may not always reveal what is happening inside. Now, Venus is also in the 12th. Venus is very important because Venus rules your 2nd and 7th houses. The 2nd house is speech, family, savings, food, values, lineage, wealth, and self-worth. The 7th house is marriage, partnership, spouse, clients, contracts, public dealings, and the world opposite you. Both of these houses are going into the 12th. This is extremely revealing. Money can leak through relationships, comforts, travel, luxury, charity, spiritual work, private indulgence, hidden expenses, or foreign connections. Speech may become refined but guarded. Family values may carry distance, sacrifice, or private emotional complexity. Marriage may bring foreignness, spiritual growth, expenses, distance, or a sense of surrender. Venus is exalted, so this is not a crude placement. It can give compassion, devotion, beauty, imagination, artistic taste, spiritual love, and refined relationship intelligence. But exalted Venus in the 12th is still Venus in the 12th. It does not behave like simple domestic happiness. It wants transcendence. It wants ideal love. It wants something beyond ordinary transactional marriage. And that can be dangerous if not grounded. Because if Venus is idealistic and the 7th Lord is in the 12th, you may project too much fantasy onto relationships. You may give silently. You may tolerate silently. You may desire emotional or spiritual merging, but then feel disappointed when real humans behave like humans. You may attract partners connected to distance, foreign lands, emotional privacy, spirituality, healing, or sacrifice. The lesson is not avoid relationship. The lesson is Boundaries are not optional. Love without boundaries becomes drainage. Compassion without clarity becomes loss. Now, the sixth Lord Mercury is also in the 12th. This means conflict, service, health, debts, enemies, routines, and daily work also go into the hidden zone. You may defeat enemies quietly. You may work behind the scenes. You may serve in foreign or institutional environments, but you may also suffer from hidden stress, nervous exhaustion, sleep issues, or health matters that grow because they are ignored too long. This chart says, if you do not organize your daily routine, the 12th house will eat your energy. Now let us go to the second major exchange, 5th and 11th house exchange. Sun rules your 5th house and sits in the 11th. Saturn rules your 10th and 11th and sits in the 5th. This is powerful. The 5th house is intelligence, creativity, children, education, mantra, past life merit, romance, speculation, and judgment. The 11th house is gains, networks, ambitions, audience, elder siblings, large communities, fulfillment of desires, and income expansion. When the 5th Lord goes to the 11th, intelligence wants an audience. Creativity wants recognition. Knowledge wants gains. Education wants networks. Your ideas are not meant to remain private forever. They are meant to circulate. But the 11th Lord Saturn goes back into the 5th, so gains do not come easily. They come through discipline, time, structure, maturity, serious learning, responsibility, and consistent intellectual output. This exchange can give recognition through knowledge, education, technical skill, management, teaching, advisory roles, institutions, strategy, leadership, or community influence. But it does not usually give instant fame. Saturn in the 5th delays confidence. It makes you serious. It can make you cautious in speculation. It can create pressure around children, learning, romance, or creative expression. It can make you feel that your intelligence has to prove itself before it is accepted. Saturn is retrograde in Leo. That means the career lord and gains lord is sitting in the house of intelligence, but it is internalized. You may carry a deep private pressure around recognition. You may want respect, but you may not always trust applause. You may want to lead, but you may also fear being exposed. You may feel you have to work harder than others to receive the same validation. And because Saturn is in Leo, the sign of the sun, ego and discipline are forced into confrontation. You cannot lead from ego alone. You cannot hide behind humility either. You have to earn authority. Sun in Aquarius in the 11th shows leadership in networks, groups, systems, communities, organizations, social structures, technology, or mass platforms. But Sun in Saturn's sign must learn to lead without arrogance. It must serve a larger system, not just personal pride. So the 5th-11th exchange says this: your intelligence can become income. Your knowledge can become network. Your creativity can become recognition. But only when Saturn approves, through consistency, maturity, patience, and responsibility. No shortcut, no fake authority, no inflated self-image. The chart does not support cheap performance. It supports earned respect. Now let us talk about career. Your 10th Lord Saturn is in the 5th. Career goes into intelligence. This is excellent for advisory roles, management, consulting, engineering, process work, systems design, teaching, training, policy, governance, technical analysis, compliance, finance, research, documentation, or structured creativity. You are not meant for shallow, repetitive work unless it gives you mastery. Your work must involve judgment, strategy, knowledge, responsibility, systems, teaching, planning, long-term thinking. But Saturn gives delay. It will test you. It will make you feel under-recognized at certain stages. It may bring bosses, institutions, or responsibilities that feel heavy, but it also gives durability. When Saturn matures, it gives respect that lasts. Your 11th Lord, also in the 5th, shows gains from intelligence, but again, gains through disciplined intelligence, not random luck. Now, Rahu in the 6th house in Virgo is another major piece. Rahu in the 6th is hungry to solve problems, hungry to defeat obstacles, hungry to improve, fix, analyze, compete, optimize, diagnose, and master systems. In Virgo, this becomes technical, analytical, service-oriented, detail-obsessed. In Hasta, it becomes skilled with hands, documentation, calculations, processes, tools, healing, correction, and practical execution. This can be excellent professionally. It can make you strong against competition. It can give success in service, analytics, health fields, technical work, operations, documentation, IT, engineering, process control, healing, problem solving, and crisis correction. But Rahu and Virgo in the sixth can also become obsessive. It can make you overly critical. It can make you see problems everywhere. It can create health anxiety, digestive or nervous stress, conflict with coworkers, overanalysis, and a compulsive need to fix what may not even be yours to fix. This is one of the rawest warnings in the chart. Do not become addicted to problems. Some people are addicted to pleasure. Some are addicted to drama. You can become addicted to correction, to improvement, to pointing out what is wrong. If disciplined, Rahu in the sixth makes you a problem-solving machine. If uncontrolled, it makes you restless, critical, and unable to relax. And Ketu in the 12th opposite Rahu says the soul already knows withdrawal. The soul already knows isolation. The soul already knows spiritual retreat. But this life demands service. You cannot just disappear into private wisdom. You have to apply it. So the Rahu-Ketu axis says, serve without anxiety, detach without escape. Now let us bring the whole chart together. Your dominant houses are the 3rd, 5th, 6th, 11th, and 12th. The 3rd says, build skills, communicate, write, teach, act, train, initiate. The 5th says, discipline your intelligence, take your learning seriously, turn creativity into structure. The 6th says, solve problems, but do not become a slave to conflict. The 11th says, build networks, but do not chase validation. The 12th says, protect your sleep, manage expenses, create solitude, develop spiritual practice, and stop using withdrawal as an unconscious escape. The biggest strength in this chart is self-made intelligence. You can learn, you can restart, you can recover, you can observe deeply, you can communicate powerful things. You can turn private suffering into public knowledge. The biggest weakness is leakage. Leakage of sleep, leakage of money, leakage of emotional energy, leakage through relationships, leakage through scattered learning, leakage through overthinking, leakage through trying to fix too many things at once. And this is where the chart becomes brutally practical. If you do not master your 12th house, life will drain you silently. It will not always destroy you dramatically. It will drain you quietly. Through poor sleep, through emotional isolation, through expenses, through hidden anxiety, through relationships that confuse you, through overthinking at night, through private guilt, through spiritual longing without discipline. But if you master the 12th house, the same placement becomes a gift. You become intuitive, spiritually intelligent, capable of deep research, capable of healing, capable of working across borders, capable of understanding the unseen layer of people and systems. The chart does not say you are weak. It says your power is hidden behind discipline. And your relationships, they require maturity. Venus as 7th Lord in the 12th says marriage and partnership cannot be handled casually. There must be transparency around money, emotional needs, private desires, distance, and boundaries. Otherwise, love becomes sacrifice, sacrifice becomes resentment, and resentment becomes silence. Your career? Strong, but not instant. Saturn as 10th Lord in the 5th says you rise through knowledge, structure, and time. You may feel delayed, but delay is not denial here. Delay is training. Your mind? Powerful, but restless. Mars and Jupiter in the 3rd, Mercury in the 12th. This is the mind of a communicator, researcher, thinker, analyst, and spiritual learner. But without focus, it becomes too many tabs open inside the head. Your emotional life? Deep, private, and not easily understood. Moon in the 12th says you need sacred solitude, but you must not confuse isolation with healing. So here is the final raw reading. Harish, you are built like a warrior with a monk hidden inside him, a communicator with a private mind, a problem solver with a spiritual wound, a sharp personality carrying a soft, invisible emotional body. You are here to convert effort into wisdom, isolation into insight, intelligence into gains, and service into mastery. But the chart demands discipline. Discipline your speech, discipline your sleep, discipline your expenses, discipline your relationships, discipline your learning, discipline your desire to fix everything. Because if you do not, the same chart that can make you respected can also make you exhausted. This is not a chart of easy peace. This is a chart of earned power. Your life opens when you stop scattering yourself and start committing to a few powerful directions. Your voice becomes valuable when your mind becomes focused. Your relationships become healing when your boundaries become clean. Your career becomes strong when your intelligence becomes structured. Your spirituality becomes real when it stops being escape and becomes practice. And that is the mystery of this chart. The 12th house is not your weakness. It is your hidden command center. But only if you enter it consciously. If this reading hits something real inside you, and you want a deeper personal reading, not generic astrology, not sugar-coated comfort, but a precise breakdown of your house lords, exchanges, career patterns, relationship karma, and the exact areas of life demanding attention, get in touch with me for a reading that actually works for your life.